A police car pulls up behind you, lights flashing, and by the time the officer reaches your window, your voice has already changed. Higher, smaller, almost a different voice entirely. You didn't choose that. Something underneath language picked the pitch before a single word came out. That's the part most people miss. This isn't nerves, not exactly. Something in your body shifts the moment it senses it's talking to someone with power over it. And it shifts the exact same way whether that someone is a police officer, a boss, a doctor, or a parent standing in a doorway. Have you ever noticed your own voice climb half an octave the second your boss walks into the room? Even mid-sentence, even about something completely harmless. Or gone quiet and careful answering a doctor's question, like there's a wrong answer hiding somewhere in a simple yes or no. That shift isn't random, and it isn't really about fear either. It's a signal, and it's older than English, older than any language at all. Across hundreds of species, lower-pitched sounds read as bigger, stronger, more dangerous. Higher-pitched sounds read as smaller, less threatening, easier to ignore as a rival. Your vocal cords are wired into that same ancient broadcast system. Drop your pitch and you're saying, without choosing the words, stay back. Raise it and you're saying something closer to, you're safe, no threat here. So when you stand in front of someone holding power over your outcome, your freedom, your paycheck, your medical results, some old part of your nervous system makes the calculation before your conscious mind even has an opinion. It picks the smaller voice, the safer voice, the one less likely to be read as a challenge. Researchers studying vocal pitch and social rank have found that listeners, across completely different cultures with no contact with one another, consistently rate lower voices as more dominant and higher voices as more submissive, often within seconds of hearing a stranger speak. Other work on hierarchy and voice has found something stranger still. People don't just hear pitch shifts in others, they unconsciously produce them. Drop someone into a room with a perceived superior, and their own pitch creeps upward, usually without them noticing it happened at all. Here's where it gets stranger. You'd expect that this signal, used everywhere, by every primate your whole life, would be something you could control if you tried. Most people assume it's something only nervous, unconfident people do. Except the opposite tends to be true. Studies on high-status individuals, the kind sitting in actual positions of power, found their pitch rises too, not in front of subordinates, but in front of people who outrank them. CEOs talking to their own boards, senior officials talking to whoever they answer to. The voice doesn't track confidence, it tracks the room. Whoever has less power in that specific moment, regardless of their power everywhere else, gets the smaller voice. That's the twist. This was never really about your personality, it's positional. Drop a confident, commanding voice into a room with someone who outranks them, and their pitch climbs exactly the same way yours does. Which reframes every time you've caught your own voice doing this and felt embarrassed about it. That wasn't weakness leaking through. That was an ancient broadcast system doing exactly what it was built to do, reading the room faster than you could and adjusting your signal before you'd even decided how you wanted to come across. This system runs even deeper than most people realize. It's not limited to obvious authority, a police officer, a boss, a judge. It activates around perceived authority too. An automated customer service line that sounds clinical, a stranger in a uniform who has no actual power over the outcome at all. The body doesn't wait to confirm whether the danger is real. It responds to the costume. There's a flip side worth noticing too. People trained specifically to project authority, broadcasters, negotiators, certain kinds of performers, often spend years consciously lowering and steadying their pitch, fighting the exact instinct this video has been describing. They're not erasing the system, they're overriding it on purpose, the same way someone might force a smile during a difficult conversation. The old signal is still firing underneath. It's just being deliberately outvoted. So where does that leave things halfway through? Until now, this has mostly been about why your voice shifts without permission. The ancient signaling system underneath language that tracks power before you've consciously clocked who's in the room. From here, it shifts toward what that system is actually protecting and why it's so hard to override even when you know it's happening. Because the system isn't just about avoiding punishment, it's about staying inside the group. For most of human history, status wasn't abstract. It determined who ate first, who got protected, who got chosen as an ally when things went wrong. A voice that read as a challenge to someone more powerful wasn't just rude, it was a genuine risk. So the body learned to soften the signal automatically, long before anyone could think their way through the social math in real time. That's why willpower barely touches it. You can know exactly what's happening, know the science, know the explanation, and your voice will still climb half an octave the next time a doctor delivers test results in that particular clinical tone. The system doesn't run on what you understand. It runs on what your nervous system has decided counts as power, and it updates that calculation faster than conscious thought ever could. Watch for it now, and it'll be everywhere. The slight rise answering a teacher's question, even as an adult. The careful smallness in a voicemail left for someone who signs the paycheck. The brief, clipped politeness reserved only for anyone wearing a badge. None of that is anxiety in the way people usually describe it. It's calibration, a body constantly, silently asking the same question every primate brain has asked for longer than language has existed. Who's more dangerous in this room right now? And how small does the voice need to go to stay safe inside it? Next time a stranger with any kind of authority walks toward you and your voice goes quiet and careful before you've decided anything, you'll know what's actually happening. Not weakness, not nerves exactly, a genuinely ancient signal broadcasting on a frequency older than the words riding on top of it, adjusting your volume in a negotiation you never consciously agreed to enter. So next time your own voice climbs without asking permission, don't read it as losing your nerve. Read it as the oldest, most honest thing your body said in that entire room.